Well, next tonight, a whirlwind 2 weeks and dozens of medals later, Team GB stepped off the podiums in Paris and onto the platform of St Pancras today. The golden Eurostar train, filled with more than 200 Olympians, arrived to a hero's welcome, peppered with winners homegrown in the capital. From running to diving to climbing, London was well and truly represented on the medal table, and there's some hoping it'll become the host city again in the not-so-distant future. Well, our correspondent Simon Harris was there to meet some of the winners at St Pancras.
Team GB's Olympic journey came to an end on a gold-coloured train which pulled into St Pancras. On board were many of the stars of the last fortnight, like 19-year-old climber Toby Roberts from Elsted in Surrey, still wondering if his gold medal is real.
Once you train for something for so long and it's just everything you think about, then to finally have that dream come true, you don't really know how to process it. So I think it's going to take a couple of days, weeks, or even months, who knows, for that finally to feel real.
In the sweltering heat beneath the station's glass roof, the medal winners posed for one more photograph. Londoner Bianca Williams was part of the 4x100 metres relay.
I knew we could, I just didn't know what colour we'd get. We did want gold, but silver is just as good.
You ran in the heats, not the final. What was it like watching the others in the final?
I was literally so nervous, I couldn't sit still. I was just, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
This is what they need, welcome home, and it's the excitement, and there's going to be more to come from them lot. So I'm telling the athletes, enjoy every moment, all right?
For diver Tom Daly, who trained at the London Aquatic Centre, this was an emotional end to his Olympic career.
It is so special. It's hard to talk because, it's my last time, so I'm sorry.
He might have given up his diving, but not his knitting.
She's a beauty. And then obviously Tom's made us these, so keep them safe because they get a little bit battered.
Scarlett Mew Jensen from Hackney was part of a medal-winning pair of synchro divers.
I think everyone's just happy to be home and can't wait to sort of celebrate with family and stuff. So I think we're all just sort of eager to get back and all very tired, all very just wanting to get that rest back in.
But not everyone gets time off. Lewisham's golden boy Alex Yee was one of Team GB's flag bearers at the closing ceremony.
We're actually racing on Saturday, so it's non-stop for us triathletes. But yeah, I think at the same time, just live in the moment, enjoy it, and go with the flow.
Los Angeles?
I'd love to.
Sadiq Khan, who was invited to the opening ceremony by his opposite number in Paris, still harbours ambitions of another London Olympics in 2040.
Of course, I'm keen to make sure we get another Olympics to London. I've been speaking to Anne Hidalgo in Paris. The transformation of Paris with her Olympics means that they've learnt from London 2012. I think we could have the greenest games ever, should we win it again, but that's a long way off.
I definitely say I'm a product of, the 2012 Olympics. So, for me, that was the thing that made me fall in love with the games, fall in love with, the sport and this competition. So I'd love for that opportunity to be able to, compete in that, and hopefully do the same for someone else.
For some Olympians, it was the end of the line, but others have already set their sights on Los Angeles 2028. Simon Harris, ITV News, St Pancras.
A controversial new £9 billion road tunnel under the Thames could end up being funded by private investors after the future of the project was thrown into doubt during the government's spending review. The Lower Thames crossing linking Essex and Kent has been in the works for 7 years but has faced delays in securing final approval. With spiralling costs and a government scrutinising infrastructure projects, private funding could make or break the crossing's future. Our political correspondent Simon Harris reports.
For 9 years, Linda and Alan's lives have been on hold, their plans to extend the family home frozen.
This is the extension, which is no garage and utility room that we put on, and it's the entrance, the back door and the window, which is obviously 9 years it's been left open.
The couple's house at Orsett in Essex is the subject of a compulsory purchase order because it's on the route of the proposed Lower Thames crossing.
As you can see, I've moved my garage onto the side there, and I was building a house in the garden for my son, 5-bedroom house, which I got planning permission for, and then they stopped this, and you can see I've got a garage half built, I've got a kitchen half built, I've got a kitchen letting water in and running, and it's just a complete mess, isn't it?
The Lower Thames crossing involves digging a new road tunnel under the river to link Essex and Kent. The scheme was given the go-ahead in 2017 to ease pressure on the bridge and tunnel at Dartford, notorious pinch points on the M25. However, it has a price tag of £9 billion and ministers are looking for savings. The new crossing is one of several major infrastructure projects thrown into doubt by the government's spending review. But now it seems the Treasury is planning to use private money to rescue the scheme. In a statement, a spokesperson said the government is committed to harnessing private investment and restoring growth and will work in partnership with the private sector to deliver its missions.
We do need a crossing. I'm pleased that the government are going to look at ways of funding this project. My concern is if this is a private fund and motorists are charged to use this road, yet again, it's a Labour attack on motorists.
There are precedents for using private cash to bankroll public transport projects. Sadiq Khan's controversial Silvertown tunnel in East London is being underwritten by a private consortium, and drivers will pay a toll to use it. In Essex, Linda and Alan say the planned tunnel near them is already extracting a heavy price.
Sleepless nights, worrying about what's going on. Same with Alan. I mean, he never took a tablet in his life before, but he's been on medication as well for depression. He has totally ruined our life, really.
If the tunnel goes ahead, the couple will have no choice but to move out. For now, they live in an unfinished house, waiting to find out if the Lower Thames crossing will ever be built. Simon Harris, ITV News, Orsett.
Good evening. If there's one function you would hope your police force is fulfilling properly, it's investigating crime. And yet an inspector has labelled the Met inadequate in that responsibility and failing in many others. From inadequate checks on sex offenders to some inexperienced officers looking after more than 25 cases at a time, the Police Inspectorate's report is damning. It does recognise that many changes have already been made, but 2 years after the Met was placed into special measures, it is still far from being the trusted force Sir Mark Rowley promised he would deliver. Our political correspondent Simon Harris reports.
New recruits are the lifeblood of a police force. The passing out parade at Hendon is a proud moment for any rookie cop in the Met. But inexperienced officers are increasingly being called upon to do the job of more senior colleagues.
We found that inexperienced officers were often being allocated complex crimes beyond their experience and training. We also find that there were high workloads in their local teams and sometimes they were being abstracted to cover other demands.
The police over the last 15 years have lost 20,000 police officers, 18,500 police staff. That means the Metropolitan Police, when it's recruiting now, a quarter of its police officers have less than 5 years experience. It's a very inexperienced organisation.
2 years after the Met was put into special measures, a report by His Majesty's Inspector of Constabulary details a series of failings. One area of concern is the way the force deals with sex offenders. Too often, convicted sex offenders are told in advance they're about to get a visit from the police. That makes it easier for them to hide any phone or laptop with indecent images on it. The inspectors discovered one case where a high-risk registered sex offender hadn't been successfully visited since 2017.
I'm not surprised at all. Not the least bit. I mean, from my horrible experience with the police.
2 years ago, Tabitha was the victim of a sex attack in North London. Her attacker was Ronald Evans, a convicted killer and serial sex offender. But at first, police failed to spot his details on the crime database.
They're too young, too little experience, they come with preconceptions, there's cultural things at play, and you know, there's attitudes of like, he asked for it, she asked for it.
Reza has also lost confidence in the Met. He owns a Persian restaurant in central London and has had 2 break-ins this year.
Apart from these break-ins, we have phone thieves coming and stealing phones and things from outside tables, always contacting police, always nothing happening from it. You know, you get a reference number from the Met and then that's the end of it. You never hear back.
In a statement, Scotland Yard said the Met is using every available resource to deliver more trust, less crime and high standards for London.
The report recognises the progress made in, for example, responding to 999 calls, responding to 101 calls, but also recognises we've got far too many inexperienced junior officers. They need support.
The Met will get another visit from the inspectors early next year. Simon Harris, ITV News, Scotland Yard.